facing the police every single day.
Charged with 2 counts of rape. An officer is accused of raping a 16-year-old homeless girl while on duty. Prosecutors say that 49-year-old Kevin Garneau sexually assaulted the teenager multiple times in 2016. Now, the video that you're looking at here is video from a WBZ story that we did on him riding his patrol bike in cold weather 5 years ago. Garneau allegedly told the girl that he wouldn't arrest her if she provided sexual services. He's now charged with 2 counts of rape and has been suspended without pay.
He's a 19-year.
No one answered the door at the home of Officer Kevin Garneau. Earlier, Garneau, stripped of his uniform and badge, was arraigned on 2 counts of rape. His lawyer said he denies all the charges.
I love you too.
In recent years, Garneau has been part of a task force reaching out to homeless people and drug addicts in Lowell. He's been featured in several news reports, including on News Center 5.
Some of them have been addicts that are in recovery, and this might have been a one-time relapse. That's when they're most vulnerable, so we'll encourage them. It's just trying to find what path works best for them to go down.
Prosecutors say in 2016, Garneau, while on duty, came across a 16-year-old girl living in a tent, and that he raped her 3 times over the course of 2 months. The girl told investigators that after each assault, Garneau threw money at her and told her to get help. Lowell's police superintendent says as soon as he found out about the allegations back in January, he took Garneau off the street and assigned him to a desk job. Now, after the indictment,
I was astonished and very disappointed when I heard these allegations. Again, he will have his day in court, but as far as a police chief, to hear that about one of your officers was very disturbing.
49-year-old Kevin Garneau of Pelham is charged with 2 counts of rape and is on unpaid leave from his job as a Lowell, Massachusetts police officer. As seen in this footage from a prior news report, he's been part of a group that reaches out to homeless people and drug addicts in Lowell.
Some of them have been addicts that are in recovery, and this might have been a one-time relapse. That's when they're most vulnerable, so we'll encourage them. It's just trying to find what path works best for them to go down.
While on duty in 2016, the district attorney says Garneau sexually assaulted a 16-year-old homeless girl who lived in a tent and told her there were warrants out for her arrest, but didn't arrest her in exchange for sexual favors. Prosecutors say he sexually assaulted her several more times in the following months. Lowell police say they learned about the allegations in January and assigned Garneau to a desk job. The police superintendent says this doesn't represent the men and women of his department.
I was astonished and very disappointed when I heard these allegations. Again, he will have his day in court, but as far as a police chief, to hear that about one of your officers was very disturbing.
Following his arraignment, Garneau was released but is required to wear a GPS monitor. He could not be reached for comment. Reporting live in Pelham, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Also on 7, a disturbing arrest. This Lowell police officer is now facing rape accusations. Investigators say the troubling charges involved a homeless teenager and that the alleged assaults happened while the officer was on duty. 7's Steve Tellier live in Lowell with more.
Yeah, Kim, these crimes were allegedly committed 3 years ago, but they weren't reported to the Lowell Police Department until this past January. Now, a veteran officer is facing serious charges.
He has served the city of Lowell for 19 years. Now, Officer Kevin Garneau stands accused of heinous crimes. The 49-year-old officer is charged with 2 counts of rape in what prosecutors say was a series of sexual assaults on a homeless 16-year-old girl. The rapes allegedly happened back in 2016 while Garneau was on duty as a Lowell officer. Prosecutors say the 16-year-old victim was living in a tent and Garneau was working with a group that helps the homeless. He's accused of entering the teen's tent and telling her there were warrants out for her arrest, but he'd let her go in exchange for sexual services. Prosecutors say Garneau sexually assaulted the victim several more times in the months that followed. The Lowell police superintendent reacting to the charges earlier today.
I really can't answer a lot of questions. This is a pending case, but I have to tell you, I was astonished and very disappointed when I heard these allegations. But as far as a police chief, to hear that about one of your officers was very disturbing. But again, we have to let the system work its way through and let the officer have his day in court.
And in court today, that officer entered a not guilty plea. He was also released from custody, although he does have to wear a GPS monitoring device, and he is on unpaid administrative leave from the Lowell Police Department. Live in Lowell, Steve Tellier, 7 News.
Hey, Sheriff County, this is Sheriff County COPWATCH. I am using any video here under fair use if you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc. And please donate. I do not make money from YouTube, and there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.